So this is the iPhone 16 Pro Max, and we've covered it multiple times on this channel, but we never faced it off against the Galaxy S25 Plus. So that's what we're going to do in this video in this speed test comparison. So what is up, guys? Nick here, helping you to master your technology, and let's go ahead and begin with a boot up test in 3, 2, go and see which one can get there first. Now, I've never done the S25 Plus, but man, I gotta tell you, the S25 Plus might be the sweet spot of the lineup, regardless of the fact if it doesn't get as much love. This phone is ultra thin. It's actually much thinner than the iPhone 16 Pro Max and even thinner than the 16 Plus. Boots up faster, has a Snapdragon 8 Elite, 12 gigabytes of RAM, a 2K display, triple camera setup, and it's 7.3 millimeters thick. Now the edge is of course thinner than this. It's coming soon to the channel. iPhone 16 Pro Max loses on the boot up, but it does have a smaller screen, a 6.7 versus 6.9 on the left, but a little bit thicker bezels it looks like maybe than the 16 Pro Max, but nothing crazy. It's still ultra thin bezels. It just seems like a really good deal overall. In terms of like where it's priced at, it's like about $999, which is what you'll pay to get like the smaller Pro on the iPhone side. So the boot up goes to the S25 Plus hands down. All right, guys. So when it comes to the iPhone, you do have Face ID. So we'll just bring it up, swipe right in, and it's been a pretty fantastic experience over the years. It only feels like it got a little bit better on different angles, but there is times when it can still miss, especially in certain lighting situations, like extremely dark situations. Now we do have Face Unlock here for the Galaxy, which will just simply bypass the lock screen, so there's no swipe needed. So essentially you can unlock this phone faster, but the fingerprint also on ultrasonic, you can enable it without the display even being on. So I would say speed of unlocking and booting into the phone is faster on the Galaxy S25 Plus. It's just everything so far this year has been really blazing quick on the Samsung devices. Let's go ahead and take a look at the general home screens now. Now the iPhone 16 Pro Max does rock the ProMotion 120 Hz, and it's pretty smooth, although its variable refresh does make it look like not as smooth as it can be all the time. Also, I feel like their animations are kind of designed for their older 60 Hz phones, so they kind of like are a little bit slow for how fast this phone is capable of being. So I do think Apple should speed up their animations, make them a little bit snappier this year with iOS 19. I don't know if they're going to do that because they tend to go for the visually pleasing aesthetic. Now over here on the Galaxy S25 Plus, Samsung for the first time in history, I think, has not only very, very fast phones, but also very beautiful animations across the board. So no matter what I'm doing, whether I'm swiping into the quick settings, whether I'm swiping through, it's just fast, but also fluid. You can also speed up the animations in developer options, being that this is an Android device. So that's no major issue, but it kind of just feels like it navigates a little bit more consistently fast day to day than the iPhone right now. And that's mostly due to Samsung's little bit faster experience, I would say, with the animations. So let's go ahead and head into the app test now. 18.5 on the left. We are on One UI 7 on the right. All right, guys. So everything is closed out for both of these beasts. Let's go ahead and start with calendar on both. And you can see a little bit snappier animation there on the Samsung. Let's go on to clock. And we're in the basic row here. And if we just kind of go through these, no issues day to day. We'll go into calculator. Again, just a little faster to launch on the Samsung. We'll go in the App Store, Play Store. That was loaded first. I did have that preloaded because I hit it earlier. So I'm going to go ahead and launch that again. It still was faster on the Samsung. Let's swipe up out of there. Now I did add this AI row because we got to get with the times here. So let's go in ChatGPT. And ChatGPT was first on the Samsung. I do like how we have number row here on the Samsung keyboard. That allows us to easily access that. Let's go into Gemini. Gemini was faster there on Android, especially. It's made for that platform. Let's go to Grok on both. And that was faster on the right once again. We'll go into Copilot. And again, it looked like it was faster on the Samsung. And Microsoft does kind of like collaborate with Samsung. So I wouldn't be surprised if the Microsoft stuff was faster on a Samsung phone. Let's go into YouTube here, and we'll go over here to trending. That was first on the right. Accidentally clicked that video. Let's go ahead and hit trending here. And we'll scroll over to music. And as we scroll through, everything looks good. We'll go on to gaming. And we'll go over here to movies. And it's that typical super fast scrolling on Android versus a slower scroll. Now you can slow it down, obviously, just by slowing your finger down. But the iPhone just kind of is slower scrolling to begin with. Like even if you flick it, it's still going to be a little bit slower. All right, guys. So let's go ahead and head into X here on both devices. And you've seen once again, faster on the right and faster again on the right. So even though the S25 Plus, again, faster on the right, even though the S25 Plus is the cheaper phone here, a couple $100 cheaper, it is performing better. And I actually think even though this is like not their ultra phone, I feel like it competes well with the 16 Pro Max because it has 120 Hertz, 2K display, brighter display, triple camera on the left, and a 4,900 milliamp hour battery. So, I mean, I could cross shop these is what I'm saying. Yes, the Ultra is closer in terms of like price, but I could still cross shop these too. Let's go into Subway Surfer and you'll see, bang, that was on the left. So iPhone gets, I think, their first win. I believe that was the first win. Let's go into Race the Sun. And Race the Sun is going to go first here to Samsung. Let's hit play. And even casual games launching a little bit faster on the Sammy. Let's head up out of here. We'll go into Call of Duty. And historically, the iPhone has won in heavier titles. So we'll see if that holds true today. Apple A18 Pro chip, 8 gigabytes of RAM. Apple GPU. We do have the Adreno 830 on the right. And you'll see, whoa, which one was first there? That was neck and neck right there. That was super close. Let's hit multiplayer. That was definitely very, very close there. So that was too close to call. Let me know which one won that. Let's go into PUBG Mobile. And you'll see here that PUBG Mobile is going to go first to, is it going to be the iPhone? That doesn't always mean it's going to be faster just because it shows the logo first. So I'm going to wait it out and see what happens. So far, it looks like the iPhone might be in the lead. And it looks like it won by barely a tiny bit on the iPhone. Let's go into Free Fire. This is so awesome that you can get like the base S25, the S25 Plus, still have 120 Hertz, have it much cheaper than the Ultra device, and still have top level performance. Let's go into Geekbench 6. Although don't get it wrong, I'm not saying like these phones are cheap. None of these phones are cheap. Let's go into 3D Mark. They're all very high priced devices, so we would expect high performance. And you'll see that was faster on the iPhone, InShot, faster on the Galaxy, and Luma, faster on the Galaxy. So it does have some content there, but almost every application was faster on the Galaxy. I think there was a couple on the iPhone. So the Galaxy has won this app test right here. Let's go ahead and do the RAM management now. All right, so we're going to launch through these apps. And one of the areas that the iPhone still does very well is this device, or this area in the device. And that is when you just kind of go back through the apps, especially with these 8 gigabyte of RAM versions. The older 4 GB of RAM maxes, like the Max, like the 13 Pro Max, well, that was actually the 12 Pro Max, got 6 gigs of RAM. So the older ones are a little bit worse than this, especially like the regular 13s and stuff of that sort. But this with the 8 gigabytes of RAM seems to be just fine. All right, so here we are in the RAM management. Now I did use Good Lock and I did use gesture settings to prioritize the gesture settings. So you can go into Good Lock, enable this through Home Up, so it doesn't like close out these apps, or it doesn't make me swipe twice. So let's go ahead and check out the Samsung now. We do have 12 gigabytes of RAM, so a little bit more than the iPhone. And you'll see as we come out, beautifully quick. Let's go over here to this one, Groupon. And while I think OnePlus does an amazing job with animations as well, Samsung's One UI, Instagram was loading the feed. I wouldn't consider that a full reload, neither for YouTube, because those are algorithmically designed to showcase new content. So basically everything is open here on both devices, with the Samsung neck and neck, basically the same thing as the iPhone, which used to be that phone that always looks so much better when going through the applications. Also, you can get like this tablet style different look with the customizations in GoodLocked, which is pretty awesome. This is not a sponsored video, but I mean, if you don't customize with that, you're probably missing out on the best feature sets that you can do. But overall, this thing is an absolute monster in performance with the 8 Elite for Galaxy chip. All right, and let's go take a look at Geekbench. And if it seems like I'm being biased towards the Samsung, that's not what's actually occurring. What's happening is I'm kind of like benchmarking this against this. So I'm looking to see in my speed test, does the Samsung keep up? Because typically, historically, Apple devices used to be always faster in my experience, faster chip. Overall, they always had those blazing fast Bionic chips. So I'm looking to see how far Samsung has come in this test. We already know that the iPhone with iOS, the high price tag, the A-line chip, it's going to be a powerhouse. So we're just trying to see how far the Sammy has come. But we'll go ahead and run this Geekbench and see how they do in this area of the phone benchmarking. So I'll be back when they're done. And so I just finished the test, and it actually did finish first on the iPhone by about 15 seconds. It was faster in a single core 3432 with 2508 on the multi-core for the single core for the Samsung. Multi-core show a bigger performance leap for the Samsung device, so probably that overclocked chipset helping in that multi-core department. So let's go ahead and start this 3D Mark, and we'll do the Wildlife Extreme test here. So let's go over here to Wildlife Extreme, and we'll hit start at the same time, and I'll be back when they are done running this 1-minute graphic test. And so the iPhone has actually finished the 3D Mark test first. That doesn't mean it will finish with the better scores, but we'll see the Samsung closing in with a higher score at 5177 and 26.9 FPS versus 31. Now this score is better than 95% of devices on the market. This score is better than 87. So according to this test, the Galaxy is the graphically more powerful phone. Also, something to note about the S25 Plus is this phone also has a vapor chamber, so it helps dissipate heat a little bit better than even the 16 Pro Max, which doesn't have a vapor chamber, although Apple did improve its heat management in that phone as well versus last year's 15 Pro Max series. So that's a pretty good score there, I would say, for the S25 Plus. All right, guys, so let's go ahead and pop open the cameras just to see what we get with the camera launch. 3, 2, go. And you can see that was faster for the iPhone. Now, some people have complained of shutter lag on Samsung phones. Hold on. I got to go ahead and hit this. These phones are massive. Let's hit this in 3, 2, go. Yeah, Samsung was slower there. So this is one area iPhone's still faster. Let's go ahead and try to do a quick camera launch and take a photo and see which one does this better. So we'll start with the iPhone. We're going to go ahead and click this here. Little bit, it got a little bit hanged up because I was going very fast. Let's click the camera control. But overall, it's pretty responsive. That's one thing I really like about the iPhone is the camera. I don't really miss moments ever. Double click here. Okay, there was a little bit of shutter lag on that one. Let me go ahead and click this. Okay, pretty good. So they've improved for sure over some previous years. Although I'm not quite sure. Nah, there's still a little bit of shutter lag there. It's not quite as snappy with the camera as the iPhone. So if you wanted a faster camera, you'll probably want the iPhone here. So wrapping it up here, Galaxy S25 Plus versus iPhone 16 Pro Max. It's a faster phone, I feel like. It just feels faster, and for that alone, having a triple camera, huge battery life in this phone, I feel like the Samsung is a better value, honestly, if we're going spec for spec. Now, brand wars, that's really up to y'all, like which one you like more. That's really your decision, but from a pure spec standpoint, Samsung has knocked it out of the park, and this time with the 2K display over here, this having a super thin build, Galaxy AI chip, 8 Elite. It's just really on another level right here. So excited to see what the Edge can do as well. So stay tuned for that. If you found the video helpful, entertaining, informative, click the like button for me. Subscribe for more. Nick here. Be sure to be well, and peace.